What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here bringing you another lesson, and today I'm gonna give you 2 quick chord progressions that you can play. And honestly, these are just like some nice, groovy, and flashy chord progressions that you can play, even if you're like a beginner or intermediate player. This is gonna trick people into thinking that you really know what you're doing on the keys, all right? So I'm gonna give you 2 quick progressions. They're completely different. One's in a kind of like a major, dominant, churchy mode, and then the other one is in a minor key. So you get 2 completely different progressions. Let's dive into progression number 1. It goes like this. All right, so that is the first song, and this chord progression is taken from a song by LaShawn Pace. It's called He Keeps Doing Great Things for Me. All right, so check out that song, listen to it if you wanna know where that chord progression came from, and kind of hear it in context, right? So let's walk through this real quick on how you can play it. The chord progression is really only like 4 chords mainly, so it's a really simple progression. You're gonna pick it up really quick. So here we go. The first chord is also we're in the key of A flat major. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. We're in the key of A flat major. We kind of follow like more of a dominant mode, but we're in A flat, okay? So the first chord is the B flat, the 2 chord, and it's gonna be dominant. So we got our 2 chord. It's a nice way that you can voice it, a B flat 9, dominant 9 chord. He keeps on. All right, that's the first chord. Then we're gonna go to the 5. Here's the second chord, 5 chord, and here's how you can voice it. He keeps on doing great things for me. Then we're gonna go to the 3. And the 3, I'm gonna give you a couple different options. You can play the 3 chord as a half diminished chord, right? Or a minor 7 flat 5. So a C minor 7 flat 5. Or you can play it as an altered dominant chord, like a dominant chord. Okay? So here's our C altered dominant. This would be like a sharp 5, sharp 9 voicing. Or we can play it rootless, right? All right, so that's a C dominant. So you got C dominant or C half diminished. And then we're going to the 6th chord. And the 6th chord is gonna be an F dominant, all right? So after that, we go back to the 2. 2 dominant to the 5. 5 suspended again, 5 sus to the 1. And then when you resolve to the 1, it can be just major, like a major triad, or it can be a dominant chord, okay? And that's pretty much the whole song. So let me play through that all the way through. He keeps on 2, 5, 3. Playing the 3 as a dominant chord, right? And then to the 6 as a dominant, all right? And then we're going back to the 2. He keeps on. 5, suspended to the 1. And then you probably heard that, which is a turnaround to get us back to the beginning of the progression, which starts at the 2. All right, so we're already on the 1, right? The progression ends on the 1 chord as we're playing the 1 chord as a dominant chord. So we're gonna play the 6 chord. We're gonna go to the 6 and play that as a dominant chord as well. To pass us, this is gonna act as a passing chord to get us back to the beginning of the progression, which starts at the 2. So since we're playing the 1, then we're going to the 6, and those are both dominant chords, right? Those are both dominant chords. What we can do is we can go chromatically from the 1 to the 6, right? 1 dominant, 7 dominant, flat 7 dominant, to the 6 dominant. All right, so that's all that is. We're going 1 chromatic, 1 dominant, 7 dominant, flat 7 dominant to the 6. And that's gonna be like our turnaround to get back to the beginning of the progression. So all together we got 2 to the 5, dum, dum, to the 3, 2, 5, 1. And then walk it down to the 6. Again, 2. We got the 2 to the 5. 3. And then this time I'm playing that 3 as a half diminished chord, right? So 3 half diminished to the 6. Dominant. 2 to the 5, 1. All right, and then I'll give you one other chord sometimes that I'll throw in there. So we start on the 2. He keeps on doing great things for me. Sometimes instead of like the 3, I'll throw in like a tritone substitution, which would be the flat 7 chord as a dominant. So I'm playing, you can play like an F sharp dominant or G flat dominant, since we're in key of A flat, as a substitution for the 3. Okay, then to the 6. He keeps on doing great things for me. All right, so that is the progression. That's pretty much the whole thing. I'll give you a couple quick things just in case you wanna like improvise over it, solo over it. I'll give you some scales and a way that you can think about it to approach this, okay? So on the 2, since we're playing a dominant chord, you want to play like a B flat mixolydian, like a B flat mixolydian scale, or mixolydian scale matches up with the dominant chord. Or what I'm doing is I like to play like a mixolydian with a sharp 11. Right? So like what we can call Lydian dominant. A Lydian dominant scale, which is almost the same thing as a mixolydian scale, but instead of the regular 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, instead of that, we're doing 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7. Okay, and that sounds like. Okay. That's the sound of the Lydian dominant. You can use that, and then when we get to the 5 chord, this is just like a suspended chord. So I'm just gonna go back to the A flat major scale. Or more so like an F minor pentatonic. F minor pentatonic or A flat major pentatonic. And then just playing whatever on that. Same thing when we get to the 1, or actually no, we'll go to the 3. So depending on what chord you play is gonna depend on what scale you wanna use, but like if you're playing alto dominant, you can use a you can use a C altered scale, right? And C altered is the same thing actually as D flat melodic minor, but you're just starting on C, all right? D flat melodic minor is the same thing as your C altered scale. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I just wanted to give you some quick tips, right? And then when we get to the 6, when you get to the 6, you can do an F altered scale if you wanted to, or you could just do like an F minor pentatonic. Okay, then 2, we already talked about that, to the 5. And then when we get to the 1, since this is a dominant chord, we're gonna play an A flat Mixolydian scale, which has that flat 7. Okay, and then you know what to play on the 6. So that's what you can do. And then one more thing, I'll give you 5. When we go to that 3, if you play it as a half diminished chord, right? Instead of playing an altered scale, which matches with the altered dominant chord, you would want to play a, most likely you want to play a melodic minor based off of the 3rd of this scale, right? So you can play an E flat melodic minor over a C half diminished chord. Okay, and that's gonna give you a nice sound. So when like I'm playing all that type of stuff, all that is based off of this E flat melodic minor, okay? Or all that is E flat melodic minor over a C half diminished chord, okay? All right, and so that is the first song. Let's dive into the second song real quick. I just want to take a quick second to shout out the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by Donner, and they have sent us this DDP 80 Plus piano to test out, and honestly, it's pretty incredible. It is a 88 key, fully weighted board, and it even has built-in speakers. So it's at a great price point, and I think this is great for beginners and intermediate folks. It's something where you don't have to invest in a bunch of other technology pieces. You don't need an interface, you don't need cables, you don't need a laptop. You can literally just plug this thing into the wall, set it up, and then start shedding. It has a really great feel. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. It fits right into like a furniture scheme or something. So the keyboard looks amazing. It feels really good when you're playing it. The keypad is actually pretty heavy compared to even some of the other keyboards that we use. So it has a really nice feel to it. It feels like you're playing an upright piano or something, a fully weighted, real upright piano. The speakers on this as well sound really great. It's really loud, actually. I've been using it at the house, just getting comfortable with it, and I've probably been keeping the volume at like 20%. It gets extremely loud. I haven't even cranked it. Actually, we cranked it up today to 100% for the first time, and it's actually OD loud. So you probably won't ever have to crank it all the way up unless you're playing in like a big venue or something. But this is a great piano. If you want to check it out, just click the link in our bio. It is an affiliate link, so you know something would come back to us here at Gifted Hands. So if you want to support us while we're supporting you, then check out the Donner DDP 80 Plus, and as well as their whole product line. They have some really great pianos at a beginner price point. You don't have to spend $4,000, $3,000, $5,000 on a piano. This is a great place to start, all right? All right, progression number 2 is going to be taken from a Clark Sisters song called Blessed and Highly Favored. All right, so this is in the key of C minor. Let's go over it real quick. All right, so the intro goes like this. We start on F and F minor. So F minor, da, 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 and then the melody says da, 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 start on E flat and then just going up in whole steps. Da, 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 da. When we hit this A, we're gonna land on an A dominant chord, an alter dominant, sharp 5, sharp 9. Da, 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 da. And then going to the 2. Or actually, let's call this the 2. D minor to the 5, G dominant to the 1. Or you can think of it in terms of E flat major if you wanted to. And that would be like the 2, flat 5, 7, 3, 6. If you wanted to think about it like that. But for some reason, I just like to think about this song in terms of C minor. So it's the 4, 6, 2, 5, 1. Okay? F minor, A dominant, D minor to G dominant to C minor. And then C minor, sometimes I play it as like a minor 6 chord, or almost like a A half diminished, A minor 7 flat, minor 7 flat 5 over C. Okay, so that's the intro, and then he brought me through. So starting on C, walking it up to D diminished. Next chord, E flat, kind of like a C. I think of this as like C minor 6 over E flat, like the 1 over the minor 3rd. Trials, he brought me through tribulations. And then from that C minor chord, an inverted C minor chord, we're going to C over E, C major over E, right? To the F minor chord, to back to a C major chord. So it's a lot of inversions with this progression. C over G, and then the last chord in this part of the progression is F minor over A flat. Actually, the second to last chord. To G dominant. And this is our turnaround to get us back to the 1. Okay? So, the beginning of the progression, da 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 da, C minor, walk it up to D, diminished, C minor over E flat, C major over E, F minor, C major over G, F minor over A flat, had not been for the Lord who was on my, and then G dominant to C minor, okay? And then let's keep going. Back was against the wall. So we're pretty much gonna play the same thing. 1, 2 minor 3rd, going to C major, F minor, da 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 da, C major over G. And then we're playing that inverted F minor chord, F minor over A flat. Then we're gonna keep walking it up though, this time instead. So this is what I like to play. We'll call it an A diminished chord. I like to add that F in there sometimes, kind of following the melody line. So, da 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 da, our trials, he brought me through tribulations. Yep, going to A diminished. So, and then E flat over B flat. If you're thinking in terms of E flat, it's like the 1 over 5. E flat over B flat, taking for granted that we, and then B diminished, are here today, to the C, to the C minor. And then we got da, da, A flat dominant, da, da, A flat dominant, G dominant, C dominant, F dominant, Okay, so G, C, F to the B flat, suspended to the E flat. So I'll talk through that in terms of E flat, all right, to make it easy for everybody. So we're going 6, 7, diminished, 6 over 1, walking it up, C over E, 2, F minor 2, C over G, it's like 6 over 3, 2 over 4, 3, back to the 6. And back was against the wall, 7, 6 over 1, going C over E, right, to the 2, C over G, this is 2 over 4, and then A diminished, this is a passing chord to get to the 1 over 5, taken for granted. That, walking it up chromatically, the diminished pass to the 6. And then this is our 4 dominant, 3 dominant, 6 dominant, 2 dominant to the 5. Oh no, so when we get to the 5, my fault. We get to the 5, we're walking it down. So 5 over 4. Let's see, 5 over 4. And then yeah, we got the 3. And the 3 we're gonna play kind of like a half diminished. You can play it as a half diminished, or you could kind of like go back to a dominant chord. Either one works, but I think in the song that technically they'd play a half diminished chord. To the 6, just no. 2 to the 5. I'm blessed and highly favored on the 1. And then to get back to the top, you hit the G dominant or the 3 to the 6. Okay? And that is that whole progression, so I'll play through it one more time. Actually from the intro. So 2, we're gonna talk in terms of E flat. 2, pass, A pass, or A dominant. 7, 3, 6. Walk it up. 7, 6 over 1. C over E, F minor, C over G, 2 over 4, back to the 6, 7, what is it, 6 over 1, 2, C over G, 2 over 4, we're gonna keep going up, 1 over 5. Diminished pass, to the 6, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, 5 over 4, 3, half diminished, 6, 2, 5 to the 1. And then to get to the top, just hit that 3, G dominant, back to the top of the progression, okay? And those are 2 progressions that you can use, 2 progressions that aren't super simple, but anybody can play if you sit down and you practice, and you just take your time going chord by chord. And these are guaranteed. If you play these on the piano, a couple heads are gonna turn and they're gonna look at you like, that guy or that girl really knows what she's doing over there. She sounds good, or he sounds good, all right? So try out these progressions today. If you wanna record yourself, tag us in a clip of you playing them. We'd love to see or hear you playing these progressions, and I will see you in the very next lesson. Have a blessed day.